Oh, howdy y'all. I'm Jimmy. It's time to talk conspiracies. It's time to talk psyops. Figure I'd make a quick video just to comment on the current situation of the Charlie Kirk psyop, or what I want to call it, the MAGA murder motivation. Kind of rolls off the tongue a little easier. So, if you've been following my videos or if you know me, I'm a neutral observer to what goes on in government, groups of people. I'm neutral, I'm observing. I don't see myself as a part of any group because I have a perspective that we're all in one group, human. We're all humans, we're all in a giant group. And then there's a bunch of stupid people grouping up and fighting each other, right? So don't take this as ammunition for your group. This is for all humanity. I'm trying to reveal the method of how the mind control works. And this Charlie Kirk psyop, there's a lot to unpack about it. But to be blunt, I've had some family visiting. They're the boomer generation, the silent generation. So I've had a lot of different perspectives on this psyop as it's unfolded. As you could probably guess, you know, I'm saying a lot of things that the boomers don't like. But I mean, in this scenario, what I'm trying to say is I have a little deeper knowledge into the perspectives of a conservative boomer during this psyop and how they're digesting the information they're being fed. So I want to kind of unravel what I see has happened and why it happened and where it's going. Pretty simple. If you've been paying attention since the election, people have kind of realized this Trump character just lied to them. And he's just doing a bunch of stuff he never said he was going to do. So what that has done is it's sort of fracturing the Republicans, and it's fracturing. They're fighting amongst each other about, is this a good guy? Is this a bad guy? You know, they're becoming divided. So what ends up happening, right, when people start to divide is you need some unifying event. You need to find some way to, we got to consolidate the power we have over the minds of these people. Right now, they're kind of, you got some people being convinced to stop following the Republican Party because the guy in charge isn't doing anything he said and he's doing all this other stuff, right? So we need to rally the troops somehow. So what I am trying to say is they murdered Charlie Kirk to rally the troops. And it's all over the internet if you watch the video. Pretty suspicious. It could have been a faked thing. It looked very Hollywood. You know, I guess his handler does the hat signal. Moments later, he kind of slumps over. They could have done a squib bag. Like Hollywood has these explosive bags that are filled with red goop, right? So it looks like somebody got shot on a movie set. And it's kind of what it looked like. So I'm 50-50 if the guy's even dead. But regardless, like that's, you know, that doesn't matter. It could have been faked. That's all I'm saying. But that conspiracy, it doesn't matter, because people are going to take it as reality that he's really dead. He's gone. It don't matter, right? If they faked it or not. But regardless if the guy's dead or not, in order to like guarantee that this was a psyop, everything, all the benchmarks, all of the check boxes have been checked of a psyop. When an event happens, a very public event, the same day the president comes out and he has a speech about it, the next day that's all the media's talking about. It's a psyop when the president makes it a big deal, okay? And they're ready to use the event to gain power. Very simple. Very easy, very simple situation here. To where you just murder somebody and then you can grandstand and say, they're the bad guys, we're the good guys, they killed the good guys, on and on and on. So what ends up happening with this scenario is the media is trying to rally the Republicans back together to band against the Democrats. Because some people were starting to think like a Democrat, like maybe my leader's betrayed me. Maybe he lied about all these things, and you can't have a fracturing. If you have two sides that you need total control over, you can't have it to start fracture. You have to somehow unite them again through a traumatic event. MK Ultra mind control event, right? This was a tragic event. The boomers that I'm around that are witnessing this story, they are traumatized. It upset them like none other. Again, I'm a neutral observer. So to me, Charlie Kirk is a Republican propagandist. And to me, it's kind of a cut and dry story, like play stupid games, win stupid prizes, right? You're going to represent government, you're going to represent that and make a living off of spreading government propaganda for one side or the other. I think you should expect to be shot. In this climate, in this day and age, where they're trying to bring about more violence through politics so that they can claim more power over people. That's kind of the whole story of politics, is they make violent events happen and then they convince the public to give away their freedoms because somebody did something violent against their group. So to me, it's a pretty cut and dry scenario. So, we all have seen what happened. Everybody has their own interpretations of why it happened. And I'm just going to give you my idea of why it happened and where it's headed. It's like all the other political videos I ever put out. I'm trying to tell you that there's people directing a script. And right now the script is civil war. All they ever do is try to take this party and that party and get them to be violent against each other, okay? So in my mind, this was some intelligence agency assassination to cause political violence, simply put. So, and this, I just heard this last night because I have my family around and they're telling me things about this that I wouldn't have looked into otherwise, because it's just, to me, more propaganda, more mind control. But I find it fascinating that the wife, I guess last night, the wife of Charlie Kirk came out, had this speech, and she basically said, like, I'm going to continue Charlie's legacy. And he had all of these college campuses lined up where he was going to go speak at. Now she's going to go speak at them. So you have to really wonder what this will lead to. So I'm just kind of putting my, mind into that mentat mindset. I'm looking at the plans within the plans within the plans. And it would seem like they want to cause violence on college campuses next. So I would just say be prepared when Charlie Kirk's wife goes to a college and starts speaking. You're going to have a lot of Republicans ready to defend her, to protect her. And then you're going to have a lot of Democrats and Antifa show up to protest that, right? And to me, this is how it works. The government murders somebody, and then they spread their propaganda and get both the sides to follow that story and to behave in the way that they had planned all along. They want this civil war to happen between the Republicans and Democrats. They're trying to make it happen while Trump's in power, because then he can send the military out on the streets to stop the violence that the Civil War is causing, and he can send the military to college campuses, after the Charlie Kirk's wife is attacked next. So I'm just trying to tell you, to me it looks like an entire script that was wrote. They could have faked Charlie's death. He could be on an island somewhere with Epstein, sipping pina coladas, right? I'm just saying, this is a thing you never know. In the video, they're dragging his body away and there's like no blood trail. There's just a lot of, and I've only scratched the surface of looking at the video, but I don't know, if you've seen it, it looks very Hollywood. It just looks like exactly how a Hollywood script would have went. To where it's like cartoonish blood gushing from the guy. You watch it in slow motion, his shirt goes like this, like puffs way out. So it'd mean like he'd have to be shot in the back somehow. Even though the sound is coming from it's just one of those things where it seems like they just set up a Hollywood stage, and they could have faked it, or they could have really shot him. I just find it fascinating that we can't really tell the difference at this point, because we've watched so much violent television that all they have to do is make it a Hollywood scene and people believe it. So I don't know, investigate that for yourself. I don't think it really matters if he's dead or not, because the programming's already taken full force. People are acting retarded as they've been programmed to do. And of course, because I'm around people who consume the news, they have all sorts of crazy stories. So I heard that now there's like leftist teachers talking about how it was a good thing the guy died, and then they're getting fired. Okay, so this is just classic Psyop 101. The government creates a big event, and then there's always this cascading emotional wave that kind of hits the public, and the public reacts. And then there's consequences for each of those actions. It's like a big reverberation. And all it ever causes is a more divided humanity. Alright, so that's kind of all I'm trying to put out here. Was this is obviously some sort of secret intelligence operation, some sort of military operation to divide the public. Seems to be working like it always works. People seem to be following the script, getting more angry about politics. And I just predict more political violence. Really doesn't take much to see that's on the horizon. But I'm just trying to tell you, like, this is how it works. I'm just revealing the method of how they do a play on the television. The president does his speech. He commands his troops. So this was a rallying cry for the MAGA murder motivation. It's like, now it's a thing that, it's a very simple tactic. People are starting to question things. People are you know, I don't know about all this, but then the big event comes, and now we got to unite, is the whole idea. We have an enemy. We have a common enemy now. It doesn't matter if Trump betrayed us or if he didn't. My family's lives are on the line now. You know, how they're able to distract with a new event. They're able to get people to rally behind murder. So, again, I am a neutral observer. I'm not a part of any of these groups that I'm talking about, okay? I'm part of humanity. I'm already part of nature. I don't need some stupid story to follow from somebody else. So just try to see beyond these events. Try to use your imagination, right? Try to discern. Try to see where the story goes. Remove yourself from their story. I have. And so I just would like to make the point that there's nothing wrong if you use words to observe and see what's happening around you. There's nothing wrong with that, okay? It doesn't mean you're a judgmental person. It doesn't mean that you're on a side. You're just logically looking through what's going on here. And you really start to notice the emotional slavery that people have around you. Somebody can just show them something on a screen and it'll ruin their day. It'll control their mind. They feel the pain that was created for them to feel. And they'll take that pain and they'll run with it because it's how they've been programmed. And you should just know you're wiser than that. You're more than that. You own your own emotions. Nobody else can trigger them, make you angry, make you hateful. It was your own choice all along. And I just think I'm only scratching the surface of what's to come. People don't think logically or clearly about these scenarios. They get very emotional, and then they make stupid decisions. And they've really made this Psyop a big emotional event. Let me tell you. Let me tell you. So, I just wanted to talk about the plans within the plans within the plans within the plans. Whenever a mega story that grips the whole nation, and then the nation fights about it for days, and then the president speaks about it, and then that's the Psyop. That's when you know it is a Psyop, when everybody's talking about it. And there's one side or the other, you better choose, okay? It's just like, it's too incredibly obvious this whole thing was scripted. And I'm just trying to let you in on it, on the scripting of your reality. Don't have to see it or not. It is what it is. You're free to take the movie as serious as you want to. But like I'm trying to explain to the people who are emotionally attached to these stories, and they see it as a tragedy, I would encourage you to view life as a comedy, not some stupid tragic thing that you have. To me, it's funny. It's funny that people think all this stuff is real. It's a big comedy going on around you if you can see it. It's stupid people playing stupid games and they winning their stupid prizes. So I'm trying to play the intelligent, low and slow game. I'm observing the chessboard. I'm not a pawn on the chessboard. That's all I'm trying to let you in on, is you can be an observer. You don't have to be a pawn emotionally controlled by two parties that are constantly fighting each other so a ruling class can continue to use them as pawns. I don't know how many ways I could explain this, but I'm sure I'll keep coming up with more ways. But man, this was felt like I've been living in a movie the past couple days with this dramatic story. My goodness. I just want to shed some light on some of the darkness that has been going on in this realm. I love you all. Enjoy your Saturn day.